Now let's have a look at the structure of a steering committee. Once again, there are many variations, but I just wanted to give you a simple example. So a steering committee is a temporary structure, and its purpose is to provide direction to a project. Remember that when we define a project, we said the project has to be temporary, not ongoing, a one-off activity. So a steering committee starts at the beginning of the project and is being more or less dismantled at the end of the project. So the role of the steering committee, they make all the important decisions. They can discuss at a very high level the issues of the project, and then when there is a decision to be made, they make it. So let's have a look at a very simple example. On top, we have the steering committee chair. Usually someone high up the chain with a vested interest in the project. So they would be making the ultimate decisions. Then we usually have the business owner. The business owner is also sometimes the chair of the steering committee. The business owner is usually the person who initiated the project, but he represents the business. They champion the project. And it's not always the case, but usually their focus is more on sales. Then we have our familiar face, the project manager. You know what the project manager does, runs the project, but you know that. And we can also have a senior user. A senior user represents all users of the product. So in this example, we have a product that is being created by the project. So let's say the project was to implement a software for a call center. So this lady, she will be representing the call center staff. So she will be very interested in the software being very easy to use, because her focus is on the productivity more than sales. She would have KPIs that she needs to meet and the likes. We don't want to implement something that she doesn't like. So finally, we have a senior supplier. The supplier is supplying the service or the product. In the software for the call center example, it would be building the product. It would be building the software. In a scenario where the building would have been outsourced to a vendor, the vendor will be sitting in the chair of the senior supplier. The vendor will be the senior supplier. So his focus is usually not really on sales or productivity. I think especially in an outsourced scenario, the focus will be more on cost and quality of the product, which are a bit interlinked. Usually they have a fixed price, so they will want to make sure that they implement this quickly and it doesn't drag on too long. And you will keep an eye on the senior user requesting changes that were not in scope and the likes. Now just the last remark, obviously, is that at the beginning of the course, I said the steering committee, you would have project team members could be included in the steering committee. In a scenario where there's a very technical project and you would have an architect or a subject matter expert, an SME, they would also be part of the steering committee, because the goal of the steering committee is to make some very important decisions. So they would want to have the advice of some very key team members of the project. So that's it for an example of a simple steering committee.